So today we are going to study about the fertilization. So fertilization, as we have done all about the oogenesis, spermatogenesis. Now the next process comes, that is when the sperm and ova, they both get fused together. Okay, as in the female reproductive tract, what happened? The sperm is released into the vagina. Right? Okay, now they travel through the uterus and they reach up to the fallopian tube. Here they reach. Okay, and after reaching they are trying to fuse with the ovum. Okay, so how this fusion takes place, what are the steps involved in this fusion, that we all are going to study. Okay, so let's have a look first of all. If you could remember the structure of sperm, so I told you about it, that this is the acrosomal region and this is the middle part. Okay, in acrosomal region I told you there's are various enzymes, that is a hydrolytic enzymes. In this it is having the hyaluronidase enzyme. It is also having the zona lysine enzymes. Okay, various categories of enzymes are present in this region, so they all are helping in getting or penetrate into the ovum. Okay, so let's have a look. As you know the structure of an ovum, this is the structure of ovum. The outermost covering of ovum is called the corona radiata, and below it is known as zola pellucida. Just 1 minute, I'll show you this one. Okay, this is corona radiata, then below one is zona pellucida, and the innermost lining is plasma membrane, which is plasma membrane of what? Secondary oocyte. Okay, this is the covering of secondary oocyte. Okay, so first of all, what the sperm has to break this corona radiata, then it has to break this zona pellucida, then it has to penetrate through this plasma membrane. Okay, so first of all, how it break the corona radiata, as the sperm has hyaluronidase enzyme. Okay, as you know, and the corona radiata, the cells are also linked with each other by an acid, that is hyaluronic acid. Okay, so this enzyme, it break down these cementing like substances and break the corona radiata. Okay, and then the sperm get bind with the zona pellucida. Okay, as the sperm, it release the zona lysine, which is responsible for lyse or for breaking down this zona pellucida. Okay, fine. And how they recognize this zona pellucida, they have some receptor protein, that is zp1, zp2, zp3, that all have told you in my previous video, so you can go for that one. So through this the sperm get they break the zona pellucida, this one. Okay, and ultimately they enter into the plasma membrane. Okay, fine. Now the next step occur, that is it enter into the plasma membrane, and as soon as it enter through this zona pellucida, what happen? Some physiological changes takes place in this ovum, and it doesn't allow the entry of any other sperm. Okay, some type of changes takes place, that it doesn't allow the entry of another sperm. It will allow the entry of one sperm, only one sperm. That is why it ensure the monospermy. It ensures the monospermy. It doesn't allow the polyspermy. When more than one sperm comes, that is called polyspermy. Okay, so now the sperm has entered into the ovum, and it releases its all content. So see, it releases its content. Okay, so second step is what? The acrosome reaction. So here what happened? The acrosomes contents, whatever the nucleus content is there, it is released into this secondary oocyte by the process called exocytosis. Exocytosis means to release. Okay, to release outside the cell, that is exocytosis. Okay, now after the release, when this content come in contact with this secondary oocyte or with the nucleus, what happen? They initiate this secondary oocyte to complete its metaphase second. As you know, it is the ovum is arrested into the metaphase second, so it trigger or initiate the completion of metaphase second. Okay, so what is happened? The third third step is what is happening. The membranes are fusing together, and when it triggered the completion of metaphase second, so what happened from the secondary zygote oocyte, sorry, the oocyte, it divided into two. I mean, that is meiosis second is completing and divided, and ultimately it formed the ovum and the polar body, right? Okay, so this actually ovum get fusing with the sperm. Fine. So now the content of sperm and ova, they fuse with each other. As you know, they both are haploid. One minute. They both are haploid. Okay, so what happen ultimately, the both content get fused together and ultimately they make the zygote, which is diploid in nature, and they maintain the chromosome number. Okay, so this is how they make the zygote. Now what step taken further? So after the formation of zygote, first of all, if a zygote is getting formed, so next question comes, what will be the sex of the baby, what will be the sex of the child? So it depends that which chromosomes, I mean, it depends totally on the male, totally on male, not on female. Actually, from female always zygote will coming, that is having X chromosome, but on male, in case of male, they may be X and Y. If X is coming, it will be a girl or female, and if Y is coming, it will be a boy. Okay, so this is how the sex of the child is decided. Fine. Now further, what happened after forming the zygote? What happened, as you know, as I told you, that fertilization takes place in the, where, in the fallopian, in the ampullary ischemic region. So after forming zygote, they are traveling back into this uterus, because they have to be here in this uterus till 9 months, okay, to get developed into a fully mature fetus. Fine. So they are traveling back into the uterus, and while this traveling, they go through various stages. These stages are called cleavage, morula, blastocyst, and ultimately implantation. So what are these steps? Let's have a look. See, these are the different steps taken place. So what is happening? First of all, the day one, I mean day zero, the fertilization occur, and just after the fertilization, the zygote get formed, and the first cleavage arise, or first cleavage occur in this fertilization. That all these all cleavages are what? They all are mitotic cleavage. Okay, mitotic cleavage. Fine. Fine. So they are making two cells, then further they are dividing, they are making four. These all cells are called blastomeres. Blastomeres. Okay, so these are further dividing into further 2, and then 4 cell stage, further 8 cell stage, and 8 cell stage is called the early embryo, and ultimately they make the 16 cell stage, which is called the advanced morula. This is the solid ball like structure which is made up of blastomeres, 16 blastomeres, and that is called the morula. Okay, question comes about it also, what is morula? It is a 60 cell stage which is a solid ball like structure. Fine. Now further division takes place, and ultimately they make the 32 cell stage. 32 cell stage. But now the cells are these blastomeres, they are arranging it themselves, okay, in a outer or inner layer form, and ultimately they make the next structure after the morula, that is blastocyst. If you can see here, it making the blastocyst. So what is the actually, and see, they are traveling simultaneously, they are traveling, and ultimately when they come to the structure of blastocyst, they have reached into the uterus. I mean, they have reached up to the uterus when they are coming, or they are in the stage of blastocysts. Okay, so what coming next? See, this is the structure of blastocyst. See what happened after there is a 32 cells. See, 32 cells are there, Now these all cells, these all are called blastomeres. They all are start arranging, okay, themselves. So they arrange like this. As you know, the zona pellucida is already present outside. So these are arranged in outer of one cell. You can see this blue one cell, okay. This is called the trophoblast, okay. And the inner and some cells, they are arranged in a mask or disc shape, okay. This is called the inner cell mask. It is attached with this trophoblast and leaves a fluid filled cavity which is called the blastocyst, and this whole structure is known as blastocyst, okay. This fluid filled cavity is called blastocele. Fine. And ultimately, simultaneously, the zona pellucida, it also disappear, and this blastocyst get formed, okay. Now after reaching into the uterus, what happened, this blastocysts, it get interdigitated with this endometrium, and to get inserted into this endometrium. So what is happening, this endometrium, this, see this lining, can you see this straight lining, this is the endometrium, it is written over here. This endometrium cells, they start dividing rapidly, and they, so that they get just cover the whole blastocyst. This is the blastocyst, so they just cover this blastocyst and make a cap, like, I mean, covering over it, and this is how the blastocyst get inserted into the endometrium wall, and this process is known as implantation. This is called the implantation. This is the last step, that is called implantation. So ultimately the blastocysts get implanted into the endometrium wall. So after the implantation, what are the changes occur in this blastocysts, okay. So what happened, this blastocyst has this covering, that is the trophoblast. They have a two layer, outer layer and inner layer, okay. So outer layer is called the chorion. The outer layer is called the chorion, which make a finger like projection. Can you see this green one, they are making a finger like projection. This is called the chorionic villi. This outermost layer is called the chorionic villi, and the inner layer, which pink one, that is called the amnion. They are the trophoblast layer. They are the trophoblast layer, okay. And inside the inner cell mass, that is arranged in such a way that they make two layer. One is the epiblast, outer layer, and the below is the hypoblast. Later on, these make the germinal layer. We will talk about it, okay. So they are arranged in such a way, and they leave a cavity which is called the blastocele, okay. So the interdigitation of this chorionic villi with this endometrium, okay, they make a structure which is called the placenta, which is ultimately responsible for providing nutrition to the embryo, and gaseous exchange takes place through this placenta. So this placenta, it attached with the fetus, by a structure which is called the umbilical cord, right. Okay, so this is all about the implantation. Now after the implantation, what occur next, as I told you, in the inner cell mass they are arranged into two cells, that is epiblast and hypoblast, okay. This hypoblast, it make the endoderm. This hypoblast make the endoderm, okay. But this epiblast cell, it make both the mesoderm and the endoderm. Endoderm germinal layer, okay. So these are the germinal layer. You can see the endoderm, and from this ectoderm layer, or you can see epiblast layer, some primitive streak comes, elevation comes, that is proliferate to make the mesodermal layer. So this is how these three layers form. And what are the role of these layers? See, the whole human body is made up of all these three layers, okay. Whatever the organ, whatever the tissues are made, they are ultimately made up of these three germ layer, okay. So our whole body is made up of these three, okay. Now have a look of it. Now if the implantation occur, that ensure the pregnancy, pregnancy, sorry, that ensure the pregnancy. So after the implantation, as you as I told you, the placenta get formed. So first of all, we should know what are the rules of placenta. Okay, what are the function played by placenta? First of all, placenta, it release the human chorionic gonadotropic hormone. It ensure the pregnancy. This ensure the pregnancy. This that HCG, what it do, it secretes some progesterone and some estrogen. It also acts on the testes of male fetus, so stimulate the secretion of testosterone and development of male sex hormone also. Okay, and it is released by the corpus. It causes the release of progesterone and estrogen from the corpus luteum, right? So that is the function done by human chorionic gonadotropic hormone. Now second one is HPL, that is human placental lactogen hormone. Okay, what it do, it stimulate the growth of breast, because after the pregnancy there would be milk secretion for the nourishment of the child. So what it do, it stimulate the growth of breast. And how it what it do, it decrease the insulin sensitivity of the mother, so that mother is unable to utilize the much of its own glucose, and now the glucose is available for the fetus. This is the function done by HPL. The third one is estrogen. So what estrogen do? The estrogen is responsible for enlargement of the pregnant uterus. I mean, when pregnancy occur, it cause the enlargement of uterus and cause the ductal growth in breast, also the growth of mother external genitalia. Okay, so these all are the function played by estrogen. Now the next is progesterone. Progesterone is actually called the pregnancy hormone. It is responsible for maintaining the pregnancy. How? Because it decrease the contraction of the uterus and cause the growth of endometrium. Because of this, it ensure the pregnancy. And the last one is relaxing hormone. See, when the child is fully developed, then it is that child is about to take birth. So it is during that birth, one hormone is released, which is called the relaxing hormone. It is responsible for easy birth of the child. How did it do? It soften the connective tissues of the symphysis pubica for reducing the discomfort of the carriers and facilitating the easy childbirth. Okay, it soft the cervix so that the child or child can take birth easily. And it, now this is the fully embryo and its structure. What are the different structure present? I just tell you what are the structures. As I told you, the outermost covering, I told you, that is chorion, that form the chorionic villi, and the part of one, if it is making the placenta. Okay, from this reason, this chorionic villi, they are making finger like projection, that is making the placenta. Now below this chorion, the next layer, it is called the amnion. As this chorion, it is the outer layer of trophoblast and it is the inner layer of trophoblast. This amnion, what it do, it cover the cavity of fluid that is known as amniotic cavity. That amniotic fluid is present, so it covers the amniotic cavity. Now inside this amniotic cavity, a structure that is called the embryo. The embryo is present. Okay, a little bit amount of yolk is present, as there's a very less amount of yolk is present in human being. Okay, now one more structure is present, that is called the allantois. The allantois, what it do, it is having a actually it is having some blood capillaries. Okay, so this blood vessels, the oxygen or the carbon dioxide, their gases exchange takes place. So ultimately this placenta along with this allantois is known as chorioallantoic placenta. I'll write here chorioallantoic placenta. Okay, fine. So this is the allantoic structure. This is the whole structure of that embryo. And yes, one more thing, it is the umbilical stalk. It is the umbilical stalk through which the fetus is attached with the placenta. Fine. So after the attachment, after the implantation, what next occur? See, now the fetus development takes place. So in which month, what development takes place, I'll just tell you that one. In first month of development, the heartbeat get started. In second month, what happened? The limbs, the digits, they also develop in the fetus. In third month, the organ system get formed. Okay, right now, I mean, till now the tissues are developed. Now the organ systems also develop. Organs get formed, but organ system also get developed in third month. Now fifth month, the eruption of hair observe, hair start getting formed, and fetus movement also get started. In sixth month, the body is fully covered by the hair, and eyelids separate, and eyelashes also get formed. See, one more thing, in fifth month, the sex of the child is also, I mean, decided. So in this month we can get to know that what is the sex of the child. In eighth month, the testis descends into the scrotum, and the third last one is ninth month. The full fetus is fully developed and ready to come out. See, the total period is about 9.5 months. That is the gestation period. Okay, that is the gestation period, the period of the full period of fetus. Okay, I mean the development period of the fetus. Fine. Now after the fully mature fetus, what comes next? Obviously, now the fetus is ready to come out from the mother, and this process is called the pasteurization. Okay, now what had happened during the birth of the child? Two hormones are released, that is relaxin and oxytocin. As I told you, the relaxin is responsible for loosening or relaxing the pubic symphysis. Okay, so that the tissues or ligaments, they get relaxed, and it relax the cervix also, and it allow the easy just like this is, so it allows the easy, it relax this that cervix, and it allows easy birth of the child. And the second one, that is oxytocin. It also help in easy birth of the child. Okay, and one more thing, it too, the milk which is getting formed, that is secreted out from the breast with the help of this oxytocin. Okay, see, prolactin is an hormone which is responsible for making the milk, but for releasing of the milk is done by the oxytocin hormone. Okay, now after the child has taken birth, now the next thing is that is nutrition. Child need nutrition, so that is known as lactation. Milk is getting formed with the help of prolactin, and it is released with the help of this oxytocin hormone. Okay, so what happened, these the mammary glands, they are developed under this influence of these two hormones, that is prolactin and progesterone. Because of that, the milk is getting formed, which is ultimately released outside the mammary gland, and is available for the child nutrition. So the first milk that is comes out, that is called colostrum, that containing a large amount of antibodies, which is very much good for the child, and this should be given to the child, and it is also known as the passive immunity. So because by which the antibodies are given to the child. So that's all about the fertilization, various steps for fertilization, implantation, until the pasteurization and lactation. If you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe it also, so that I will be get motivated to make some more videos for you. So thank you guys.